Good morning, heart-centered entrepreneurs. I am so glad you are here with me today. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I certainly did. It was quite lovely. The weather was gorgeous here. I went to a farmer's market. I got out and exercised. It was so good. And let me just make sure this is right here. Okay. And, well, I'm just honored to be here with you today. So, let's see. I'm not sure I can see all the comments, but let's just see if I can. No, that's not right. Nope. Okay. If you're here, say hello. I can't quite see comments, but I'm going to get my Facebook page here going so I can see both at the same time. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I am live here in the group. So, okay, now I can see comments on my page. So today we are talking about creating flow in your business. And not just creating flow, because that's kind of easy, right? Well, if you're a doer, it might not be easy. But creating flow is about, well, it's the divine feminine, right? So creating flow in your business and ease is about pulling back on all, is about how you are showing up in your business, right? Are you showing up in, it's the being side of it. Are you showing up, how are you showing up in your business? Are you showing up in your creative energy? Are you showing up with ease? Are you showing up, how are you showing up? A lot of people equate flow and divine feminine. If you're here, say good morning. A lot of people equate flow and divine feminine, that sort of non-structured ease to our work. And if you're anything like me, having come over from the corporate side, I don't know if you can see my notes, sorry about that. If you're any, can I turn this to the side? Will it work? Oh no, it won't. Sorry guys. So if you're anything like me as a doer, paying attention to how you show up and how you are being throughout your day. Oh, this is one of my clients, she and I were just talking about this exact thing. How do you be when you show up throughout your day? And this is like the feminine side, right? The masculine, divine masculine side is the structure side, is the action taking side, is the doing side, right? And I'm just going to start off with my story here first. My own personal story in this struggle. If you are anything like me, I came over from the corporate side. Nobody gave a crap how I showed up in my corporate job, just as long as I showed up. And it was so on the divine masculine side, so much doing, so much structure, so much action taking. And while I'm a very fiery person, if you're here, say hi, good to see you, hello, happy Monday. If you're anything like me, it is absolutely, it wears away at my heart to just get up and start taking action in my day. And I'm so resistant to it. Hey, Raquel, I'm so resistant to it. Hola, hola. I'm so resistant to it because I had to do so much of it in my corporate environment. So when I very first started my business, I was like, I'm not having any structure in my business. Has anyone else felt that way? I do not want structure in my business. That is not how it's going to be. I want to wake up and work on whatever I feel called to work on at any given moment. That was me like rebuffing my corporate side and just wanting to be in ease and flow. Okay? Has anyone else felt that way? It is totally okay if you have. Some people are more on the structure side. Some people like to plan out their day to the nth degree. That's okay too. Okay? That's your divine masculine side coming out, and it is relevant and beautiful. If you're on the side like I was, it was like so stressful to think about structure that I just wanted to like wake up and work on whatever I wanted to work on during the day. And that's the divine feminine. I just want to be in the moment and take, just do whatever needs to be done in the moment. And on the faux reals, let's just look at the act of creation, okay? Let's even look at the making of a child, the ultimate act of human creation, all right? Well, some people believe. So if you're talking about making a child, yin and yang have to come together. Divine masculine and divine feminine have to come together for the act of creation. You can't have a baby. I mean, you don't have to have it in the old-fashioned way. Baby can even happen in a test tube, okay? But it still requires masculine and feminine. And I don't mean men and women. I mean divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy. Those two energies are required for the act of creation. Even if you talk about manifestation, let's look at it that way. Let's even look at the way that Abraham Hicks looks at it, okay? Which I do love her. Them, I should say. Them. I love them. She says to stay in the divine feminine, into the imagination, the creation of it in your mind, in your energy field, until you feel called into action, into inspired action, which is the masculine side. So it doesn't matter what you're trying to create. If you are on this planet at this time, both divine masculine and divine feminine energies are required to create. So how do you feel? Just check in and comment now or in the replay later. How do you feel about the divine masculine side, and how do you feel about the divine feminine side? Which one's easier for you? I would love to hear. Type it in the comment box if you're watching now or in the replay later. For me, I have to say I'm kind of an action taker. It's easy for me to get into action. But if I don't have a clear sense of what I want, what I'm trying to create, if I'm not clear on the feminine side, then just taking a bunch of action isn't going to get you what you want. Taking a bunch of action can have you overtaking action in certain directions that aren't really going to help you. Okay? Sometimes action just for the sake of action is, well, most times, is also not going to get you what you want. These energies must come together. But one of them is typically easier, okay? Typically, it is easier for me to get into action, probably because I'm so fiery. I have a lot of fire in my astrological chart, which is great. So for me, that energy of divine masculine, and I grew up in Ohio, which is a very masculinated state, which is just fine. No judgment one way or the other, but it's just true. It's a very corporate, very actiony, very divine masculine grounded space on the planet, okay? And, now I'm out here in Oregon, very divine feminine, so much more flowy and in the moment. The energy here is vastly different, okay? So which one's easier for you? Sometimes one's easier than the other, right? So which one is it? Just understanding that for yourself is important, okay? Also understanding for yourself, do you have that thing where you came over from corporate and you're sort of like trying to buck the structure system? Just being aware of that is very important because it affects you in your business. It really, really does. No, Harley, just be a good boy. You were just outside. Thank you, please. Good boy. So first of all, creating flow in your business that actually creates income is month after month after month is about merging these two energies inside of you. It absolutely is. They are required. Now, some of them might think, I'm not going to act like a man. Well, I'm not asking you to act like a man. I'm talking about the nature of divine masculine. It has nothing to do with being a dude. Hi, if you're here, say hello. Okay? So which of those is easier for you? Is it easier for you to step into that divine masculine energy of like action, action, action? Or is it easier for you to step into flow, 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 ease, and being present in the moment? Just understanding that is so important. Hey, Julie, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So we need to understand that for ourselves. You know, a lot of times people don't like structure. But what I'll tell you is you get to decide what kind of structure you want in your business. Right? Both. All right. Yes. You get to decide. Oh, both are difficult, or both you're bringing both in. Sometimes both are difficult, and that's okay too. When I first started my business, and from time to time even, I did not want structure in my business. I really didn't. I didn't want to work. I didn't want my whole calendar for the whole day filled up. Okay? I didn't want to look down and be like, oh my God, my day's full from 8 to 5. That sounds terrible. I like a little space in my schedule. If you're anything like me, you probably do too. So you get to decide for yourself and for your business what that mix of structure and flow feels like, or even how you want it to look. Now, I'm going to start on the divine feminine side here first, and then we're going to go into divine masculine. So on the divine feminine side, this is the energy of being very clear about what you want to create this month. Clarity is on the divine feminine side, okay? What do you want to create this month that's most important to you? How do you want your day to feel? Do you want it to be structured so that you're done by noon and you can just have the rest of the day to do whatever you want? Do you like sorry, I'm going into structure and that's not what I mean. But for getting clarity, first of all, how do you want to feel throughout the day? How do you want it to look? Clarity has to come first, and that's on the divine feminine side. Being in your imagination, dreaming it up, that's on the divine feminine side. Get clear for yourself about what you want. What do you want the outcome to be for the month? Start dreaming it up. Being in the energy of doing that every day. That's in your divine feminine side. Okay? Got to get clear first there. So how do you want your day? How do you want your day to look? Do you like it to be spacious? Do you like to also understanding where you feel the smartest during your day is super clutch here. I know that my creative energy is the strongest in the morning. So when I'm working on my book, when I'm working on new marketing elements like I'm doing right now, I try to get it done in the morning because my afternoon is better served taking action, talking to people, having conversations, all that kind of stuff. So knowing yourself and what you really want is on the divine feminine. When am I most creative? When am I most smart? Would you two be nice to each other, please? When do I feel most empowered, most aligned? That is super essential for you to know. That's on the divine feminine side. When is that for you? When do you feel the smartest? Type that in the comment box. When do you feel the most aligned? When do you feel the most creative and empowered? That is when you want to do those things, and we'll talk about how to structure that in a minute. But understanding that for yourself on the divine feminine side is so important, because what we want to do is nurture that, even if you have a tiny bit of structure. But you've got to know that for yourself first. It's very important. Harley, no. It's very important for yourself. It is one of the things that will help you bring structure in a way that you won't hate it. So getting into your divine feminine first is so important here, because this is your creative space. Also morning or in the wee hours, sometimes my brain explodes with, yes, Me too, Julie. I feel really creative. I feel really inspired in the morning. And what we want to do is nurture that energy. You want to protect it. That's how you get to create income while also being in the flow. Nurturing that time when you feel most effective so that you can go do other things that are easier for you to do in the afternoon. Okay? Or decide when you are going to do other things. Like you could just end your day after your creative time. You get to decide, okay? But you got to know first. First, what do I want to create this month? How do I want to feel? What's most important for me this month? When is my creative time? Okay? For a lot of us women, our creativity can also depend on our cycle throughout the month. When I'm in my menses time, when I'm actually in my flow, my creativity goes down because my body's releasing so much. So just paying attention to when you're creative throughout the month and when you're not. Honoring that is being in your divine feminine. Okay? We need that first. Once you know what you want, once you know when you're most creative, once you know what's most important for you to accomplish this month, then you can bring in the divine masculine to support you in making it happen. That divine masculine looks like action. It looks like you getting into conversation with people so that you can create income. It looks like reaching out to people. It looks like designing your day so that you honor how you want to feel. Okay? But you need both. I know I speak to so many entrepreneurs who say to me, Misty, I just want to be in flow and ease. Well, I know, me too, but are you creating income? Well, no. Okay, well, what are you doing every day? Well, I get up and I just boop through my day and I work on what feels good. Well, stepping outside of your comfort zone and connecting with the people that need you isn't necessarily going to feel like good in the moment. It's outside of your comfort zone. If it was inside of your comfort zone, you would have already done it. You wouldn't even be in this call or on this group. We need both. Okay? So, understanding when you feel most empowered is an amazing way to get the stuff done that's outside of your comfort zone. When you have to do reach outs, when you're marketing, when you're sharing your message with others, when you're posting your offer in that group that you know is going to make you a little bit nervous to do, when you're going to go do a talk, when you're going to show up in your group and do one of these things like I do. Okay? Those are typically outside of our comfort zone. So we want to structure, in the divine masculine side, a way to do that that supports us, which you can do. Choose those times to do those things that feel scary. Choose those when you feel most empowered. Put them into your schedule when you feel the most tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. I do my reach outs. Actually, I do my reach outs in the afternoon because it feels easier. Hey, if you're here, say hello. Good morning, good morning. Which is easy, if you just jumped on, which is easier for you? Being in your divine masculine energy or being in your divine feminine energy in your business? Which is intuitively and easily the place you reside? And there is no judgment here. They're both amazing and you need both. You're not creating anything you want. And certainly not with income if you don't have both. Okay? Okay. So, back to divine feminine. Yes. So be there first. Design the way you want your week to look. That's divine feminine. Okay? If I have to do some things outside of my comfort zone this week, which all of us have to do, when does it feel the easiest to do that? When would you like to structure that in? Use the divine masculine energy of structure, and in whatever way you want. I'm not telling you to block out your whole day. Okay? I'm just saying, at the very least, to decide what's important to do on Monday, what's important to do on Tuesday, what's important to do on Wednesday. At the very least, that minor amount of structure will support you in creating what you want. Now, I know people don't like the S word. Structure feels like being imprisoned in your own business for many of us. And I know that because I've talked to so many people who are like, I hate structure, I don't want it, I hate it so much, I don't want to do it. And that's fair. But if you are not taking action, which is the divine masculine side, if you're taking no action towards what you actually want, you can have a bunch of flow and make no money. And remember, you creating consistent income in your business is you changing people's lives. It is your work. Your job is to create consistent income in your business so that people can step into the deepest transformation they actually need with you. Your free stuff isn't going to get them where they need to go. They actually need to buy from you. So we need action in order to help you even stay in flow. See how they wrap back towards one another? Now, like I said, you get to decide the amount of structure you want in your life and business. Some people start with like, this is what needs done this week, and I'm going to decide what day I'm going to work on each thing. Meaning, your whole day's open, and you know in your head that you'll get this thing done by the end of the day. If you need to do 10 reach outs, you don't need to schedule those in necessarily. Your reach outs could be, actually 10 reach outs can be done in like 20 minutes, quite frankly. Or less. With a lot of love and care. So if you want a little bit more structure than that, then you could say, the thing I need to get done this week is to launch this thing. And here's how I'm going to support myself to do that. But you need to understand on the divine feminine side what you want to create and use a little bit of divine masculine energy to help you do that. What feels, if you're watching now or in the replay later, what feels scary, icky, or terrible about structure in that divine masculine side? What feels, it's because so many of us are so easily in our divine feminine, and that's the work we do in the world. So that's amazing. But what feels scary or irritating or terrible about the divine masculine side? That structure, that action taking, the moving things forward. What feels scary or not good about that side of it? Do you want to like buck structure like I used to do? What feels out of alignment for you in the action taking and structure side? Even when I say the word structure, what comes up for you? I would love to hear. Type it in the comment box, even if you're watching now or in the replay later. Okay? Understanding that for yourself is so important because there's always a way around it. We just say so many times, I don't like structure, I'm not doing it, I'm just staying in flow. And then we end up not making money. Or, like I said before, we just take a bunch of action that's out of alignment, not associated with our divine feminine side, hoping it'll all work out. I'm telling you right now, I'm bringing these two things together in my business right now, every day. It is completely possible for you, but you do need both. If you take nothing from this talk, I get slightly triggered by structure. Okay, and by the way, my sister, you are not alone. You are not alone. You're not. It can be triggering for so many of us because we've been through some sort of situation where it felt uncomfortable, out of alignment. We were doing things that didn't feel good. That's definitely on the divine masculine. That can be very triggering for a lot of people. And like I said, you are so not alone. So if your divine feminine, Harley, stop it. If your divine feminine gets to be, I don't know why my dog's just whining. And as soon as I get off of this, as soon as I stop recording, he'll stop. It's so frustrating. He does it every week. It's so crazy. I don't know why. So it must be because I'm talking to something he can't see. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for your patience if you can hear him whining. He's like got toys and everything. He's been to the bathroom. It's all okay. But many of us get triggered by that structure. But what if you let your divine feminine be the boss? He totally wants to be included. That's true. He probably does. You want to come in here and be on camera? You want to come here? I will kiss you. I would do it. He doesn't want to be on camera. But why not let the divine feminine guide your divine masculine? If you had structure, Julie, thank you for participating. If you had structure, Julie, that felt like it supported your divine feminine, what would that look like? If you had just enough structure in your day, because here's the way I look at it. If I let my divine feminine guide my divine masculine, it doesn't feel like structure. It just feels like support to get done the things I need to get done. What would it look like if you let the divine feminine inside of you decide the amount of structure you wanted so that you felt in control of it rather than it controlling you? That's what I'm saying. Okay? So, no one here, no business coach can force you, or should force you into a way to do business. Because if you don't feel in alignment with it, it's not sustainable. If someone's telling you, you need to do these 7 things in this way, and you need to spend all day, well, that's not... Finding your way through this in your own business is so essential. Now, I guide clients in this way all the time, okay? I do not tell them what to work on each day. My clients decide what is most important, and then I support them in creating a structure that feels okay for them, okay? If you want to talk to me about that in any way, first of all, if you're one of my clients already and you're watching this, we should already be working on this. And we already are working on this. I'm sure we are, okay? But if you need support in this area in any way, I would love to discuss it with you. This is so a place right now where so many people are struggling, and working through this is the key to what you want. It is the key to what you want. Taking action in a balanced way, both yin and yang, both sides are required to get what you want. We already know that's true, okay? Finding the path through this for you that feels okay is the work. Yeah, you need to understand how to get through a sales call. Yeah, you need to understand how to create a message that matters. I help people do that all the time. But implementation, which is both planning out stuff and doing it, divine feminine and divine masculine, okay? Implementing what you have already learned, what you already know, is what makes a business. Implementing what you already know you need to do is what makes a business. Yeah, being in trainings like this with me is great. Yeah, being in calls with me one-on-one is powerful. But what happens between calls is you being in your business. Figuring out this pathway through for you is your work. I know this call sounds like creating flow and income. We all want that. It sounds so lovely. It is your work. If you don't figure out a pathway through this, people cannot have the benefit of what is inside of you. They can't. Because you're not sharing it with them. You're not offering it to them. This is required. And doesn't have to be scary or overwhelming. You get to test this out day after day. What feels right for me? That was too much structure. It made me not want to show up at all. Okay, what does your divine feminine need? Go at it from that way. Let the divine feminine guide your divine masculine instead of feeling pushed around by either one. If you are naturally more in that divine masculine energy, like I had been previously, which is easy for me to take a bunch of action, what does your divine masculine need from your divine feminine? Clarity. Understanding what's important for me to create this month. Can't have one without the other. We just can't. But what I suggest is that you use the one that feels stronger and more aligned inside of you as the guide to the other energy. Okay? You have so much more control than you think you do in this. And you don't need to be bound by a certain way, or somebody said it had to look like bro marketing, or it had to look like this, or it has to. F all of that. What's most important is that you can do it again and again and again and again. Either day after day, week after week, whatever your schedule looks like. I launch about every 6 weeks. Not everyone wants to do it that way. That's just the way I want to do it. Understanding what you want and what's most important for you to create this month. Very important so that you can take action on it. Okay? Let your leading energy guide the other. Don't let one side of you boss the other side around. Okay? Okay, like I said, if anyone wants to talk to me watching now or in the replay later, #replay, then let's connect. This is so very important to the livelihood of your business. We can get so into one side that there's no energy for the other. And that does not and will never an income make. It cannot be. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to hear me talking about this all week. Okay? So it's very important. I hear people struggle with these ideas all the time. So I'm going to be around talking about divine masculine and divine feminine all week. If you have any questions about anything I've said today, type them in the comment box. Make sure you tag me and I will make sure to support you. I hope you have an amazing day. Like I said, if you want to talk and we have not connected yet, just direct message me or post in the comment box below. I gotcha. I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you on the flip side. Bye.